The first creative use of grouping in PowerPoint is you can create a matrix easily. Let me show you how. Let's say I want to create a grid of squares. All I need to do is to go to AutoShapes Gallery, pick up the rectangle tool, hold the shift button down and create a square. Then press Ctrl D to create a duplicate and place this right next to the previous one. Then keep hitting Ctrl D. While holding the control, you can keep hitting D and you will be able to get as many copies as you want. Now we have got one line done. Now I'm going to select everything, press Ctrl G, and this is where the group comes into play. Now let me press Ctrl D to create a duplicate and I'm going to place this right below the previous one. And then let me hold the control button while I hit D over and over again. Now we have got a beautiful grid created. And once you have this in place, you can press Ctrl A to select everything and group it again by pressing Ctrl G. Now I can add a 3D perspective to it to create a floor like this. Let me show you the steps very quickly. If you want a detailed step-by-step tutorial on how to create a PowerPoint 3D grid floor, you can refer to this video in our channel. I will leave a link to this in the description box below. I will also try to leave a link in the iCard. Let me right click after I group it, then go to Format Shape, go to the Effects option, go to 3D Rotation and use Perspective Relaxed. And now we have got the angle changed. I can increase the angle like so. And then I can right click, cut, right click and paste it as a picture. And I can crop it to the way I want. And I can place this over here and I can increase the size so that it matches the right edge of this slide. And now I have a beautiful 3D grid floor. As I mentioned earlier, come watch this video and learn all about it. Before I share my next creative idea, I am Ramgopal from presentationprocess.com, the creator of Ramgopals PowerPoint Mastery Program. The link to the product is in the description box below. The next creative use of grouping in PowerPoint is you would be able to add 3D perspective to graphics and take them to the next level. Let us say you have an org chart that looks like this. This looks pretty mundane. Now I can select all the elements, use Ctrl G shortcut and then go to Effects option, go to 3D Rotation and add Perspective Relaxed, and you can even increase the angle a little bit. Now you have a 3D org chart. You can of course place the necessary icons, add labels and complete this chart. In fact, we have a step-by-step tutorial on how to do this here in our channel. The video is called PowerPoint Tutorial to create 3D org chart. I will leave a link to this video as well in the description box below. The next creative use of grouping in PowerPoint is you would be able to alter depth of elements quite easily. Let me explain. Here is a pie chart. The elements are not grouped as you can see. Let me bring them together. Now I'm going to group them all. So let us select everything and press Ctrl G to group. I'm going to give the same perspective relaxed treatment and then I'm going to add some depth here. So let us say I want to take this one, go to 3D format and add a depth of say around 25 points and hit enter. Then let us go here and give this a depth of 50 points and then give this one a depth of 75 points. Now I can go to the second one, go to 3D rotation and add a distance from ground of 25 points. Now you can see that this one is a step above this. Let us go here and give this a depth of 50 points and now we have this a step above. So by adding different depths and then by changing the distance from ground, you would be able to create some impressive looking 3D diagrams like this. If you search for Presentation Process 3D graphics on YouTube, you will find a whole bunch of videos that give you different ways you can apply 3D effects, and all of them have the basis of grouping in PowerPoint. The next creative tip is grouping allows you to create circular pyramid diagrams quite easily. Take a look at this set of 4 concentric circles. Now I'm going to group them together by pressing Ctrl G. Like the way we did before, let us go to 3D rotation and apply perspective relaxed. Now let me add a depth of around 25 points for each of these and then go to shape outline and say no outline so we can have the outline color match the fill color. Now let me select the center circle, go to 3D rotation and add a distance from ground of 75 points. And then go to the next one and add a distance from ground of 50 points. And then the next one and a distance from ground of 25 points. Now I have created a beautiful 3D pyramid. To see this in full glory, you can add some Y rotation like this, and you can see that it looks really beautiful. Without grouping, this may not come out this easily and this nicely. And the last example of using grouping in PowerPoint creatively is in creating ghost pivot for clock diagram. Let me show you what I mean by that. Now take a look at this clock diagram. I want this hour handle to move around the clock like this. But then when I select this handle and try to rotate, this is how the rotation happens. And that is because the center of rotation of this shape is here, and that is the reason why it rotates like this, and it is not really appropriate for our requirement. Let me hit Ctrl Z to undo and get it back to its original position. Now to have this handle move around in a proper way, I need to add a ghost pivot. What do I mean by that? I need to change the center of rotation from here to here. How do I do that? I select this, press Ctrl D to create a duplicate. Then let me flip it vertically and then place it right below the earlier shape. I'm going to add a transparency of 100% so it is not even visible. Then select that and the original handle and press Ctrl G. Here is where the group comes into play. Now when I rotate this, this is how the rotation happens, and it works beautifully. Now what I've shown you are just a few creative examples of using grouping in PowerPoint. If you apply a bit of imagination and creativity, you can come up with your own ideas and make beautiful graphics using grouping tool. In the meantime, to get you thinking about PowerPoint the right way, we have put together a beautiful playlist called A to Z PowerPoint Tips You Didn't Know. It's a 5-part series, and for each alphabet, we have given a creative idea in PowerPoint that you can use in your next presentation. All you need to do is to click on the link here and watch the video and pick up some really useful PowerPoint tips that you can apply immediately. Go ahead, click, watch, and learn PowerPoint the right way right now.